when God doesn't behave, how do you behave? When God doesn't do what you want him to do. So many of us in here tonight, even as believers, we're going, God, why does bad stuff happen to good people? And I don't know the full answer always, but I want to flip that thing on its script and I say, guess what? What happens when good people happen to bad things? We need a group of people like never before that will rise up with this even if faith to declare, guess what? Whether or not God saves me in the way that I want him to be saved, whether he heals me in the way that I want him to heal me, when God doesn't play by my rules, I'm still not bowing down. He's been far too good to me. All I gotta do is look back, and that's what leads me forward, even if people go, man, we need, if the White House changes, then we're gonna have change. But change doesn't start in the White House. Change starts in your house. Change starts when we, as the next generation, we realize that we can serve our God and we can believe that he's good even when things seem bad. I wondered, what would happen on night one? What would happen if you would leave this place with this even if anthem? Even if I don't get the promotion, I'm still going to praise God. Even if I don't get the report from the doctors that I want, my God will still be worshiped in my house. Even if that relationship is never reconciled, guess what? My God has never left my side. He's always been closer than a brother. I'm going to keep worshiping him. Even if it looks all bad, I'm still going to declare my God is all good. Even if he doesn't show up the way that I want him to show up, guess what, King? We're not going to bow down. Even if. When pressure hit their life, their most famous words came out, and they were, even if. This is the climactic scene in Daniel chapter 3. And like a good movie, we've established the great climactic theme, but now we must go back to discover how on earth do you get to a place where you can confess, even if. Because we can shout till we're blue in the face, but man, it is time that we strategize. It is time that we equip one another. It is time that we resource each other, because guess what? Our time is now. I want to give you just 3 little postures, if you will, that we have to take on as believers if we're going to ever arrive at an anthem, at a mantra that says even if. And the first word, I want you to shout it out. Everyone say sit. Before you can declare even if faith, you have to sit. Here's a fun question. Who are you sitting with? When I first moved to Miami, I came from Tacoma, Washington, and finally the Lord brought me to the promised land, Miami. And I got here, and honestly, it was all cool, and I was freshman in high school, and everything about new school I was cool with. I was liking it, but there was always this one dreaded moment in the day, and that was the lunch period. Because during the lunch hour, you had to pick a lunch table to sit at. And I don't know when the last time was that you were in a high school lunchroom, but that place is confusing. There are so many people groups in there. It's more confusing than the United Nations, man. It's nuts up in there. I used to get so nervous because like, who am I going to sit with? Who am I going to sit with? Who am I going to sit with? I got to find a place to sit. I got to find a place to sit. Down deep, we all really want to sit at the popular kids table, you know? We don't want to admit that because we're humble and like we don't care, but we care. I think the popular kids table reminds me of first class on an airplane. I've been doing like some crazy travel the last 3 weeks. I was in Auckland, New Zealand, then I was in Montana, back to Miami, from Miami to Jerusalem, from Jerusalem back to Miami, from Miami back to Guatemala, Guatemala back to Miami. It's been crazy. And my little brother-in-law, David D, he's here somewhere tonight. He's been traveling with me. And it's funny because typically when I fly, on an airplane, we just kind of fly in coach economy, just the back. We're just humble servants of God. And it's funny because like me and David D, we'll be getting on the airplane like, and we'll walk past first class. We're like, these people, man, shoot. They don't know what's up. They don't know about real hardship, you know? But every once in a while, because I fly a lot, I'll get upgraded into first class. It's amazing because me and David D like, I'm like, what D, whatever, man, forget them, yo, man. We be in the back, 37B, let's go, you know? But the other day, me and David, I'm like, yo, man, this is tough. And I sit down at 37B. All of a sudden, the stewardess, she comes up and she goes, Mr. Wilkerson, you have been upgraded into first class. I was like, deuces, David D. Favor ain't fair. I left him so quick, never thought about him again. I kind of think the popular kids table at the lunchroom, everyone's like, oh, we hate the popular kids. Then they invite you over, you're like, I made it, you know? But the reason why it was so confusing as to where to sit was because who you sit with matters. Because who you sit with typically dictates who you are. What I find so amazing about Daniel 1, 2, and 3 is every time these Hebrew boys are mentioned, they're always mentioned in the crew. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Never are they ever mentioned alone. But rather, I think the scriptures are showing us that they were walking as a unit, they were walking as a crew, they were walking as a posse, as a clique, if you will. And as they did life together, they were able to take a stand for God. See, who you sit with is who you listen to. Who you sit with is who you will become like. Some of us were at this conference this week. We're like, God, give me a word. Give me a rhema word. Use these words. You don't know what they mean. You're like, I need a big word. Give me a prophecy. Here's a prophecy. Get the right group of friends.